It's 2 a.m. The house is still. Only the faint glow of your phone illuminates the room, and you're scrolling. A quiet, restless mind, seeking distraction, but nothing seems to quench the itch. It's as if you can't escape this feeling. A quiet emptiness that follows you no matter how many things you click through. You tell yourself it's harmless. You call it normal. Everyone does it. A quick release, a brief escape from the discomfort inside. But deep down, you know it's not just about pleasure. It's more than just physical desire. You think you're just looking for release, but your body tells you otherwise. Something is off, something you can't quite put into words. It's that gnawing sensation, a void that never seems to fill no matter how much you indulge. It's like a hunger, a deep yearning for something real. You keep scrolling, tell yourself it's fine. Just one more click, one more image, one more fantasy. But it's never enough. And when it's over, the emptiness only feels louder. You wonder, why does this feeling never seem to go away? Why does the more you chase, the further away it seems? Lust. Yes. But it's also something far deeper than that. It's a hunger, a search for something that lies just out of reach. A longing for connection that goes beyond the surface. You aren't just seeking the physical. You are searching for a way to feel truly seen, truly touched, beyond just a fleeting moment of satisfaction. You crave more than just skin. You crave something your soul has been starving for, but doesn't know how to ask for. Jung understood this well before modern psychology was ready to face it. He didn't dismiss lust as evil. He didn't demonize it. He understood it as a symptom, not the cause. The cause is far more profound. He called it the sexual shadow, the parts of ourselves that we are taught to hide, the parts we're told are wrong or unworthy of love. This shadow isn't just about repressed sexual urges. It's about every desire, every emotion, every need that has been dismissed or shamed. It's the cravings you pushed away, the fantasies you denied, the experiences you buried deep because you were told they were dirty, wrong, dangerous. But here's the hard truth. This shadow doesn't disappear when you ignore it. It waits. It grows. It becomes a force in your life, hiding behind your decisions, shaping your behaviors, manipulating you into patterns you can't understand. The shadow lives in every moment you try to hide, in every time you try to ignore your needs and desires. It appears when you're least expecting it, when you're alone, when the world is quiet, and the walls seem to close in on you. Maybe you lash out at the people who make you feel something you don't understand. Maybe you keep chasing encounters that leave you empty, thinking they'll somehow fill the hole. Maybe you feel numb in your relationships, or worse, feel nothing at all during sex. Perhaps you confuse love with performance. You want to feel loved, wanted, desired, but when it comes down to it, you feel empty inside. You think something's wrong with you. You tell yourself it's dysfunction, but Jung would say it's disconnection. You're not broken. You're not wrong. You're divided. The parts of you that have been exiled, rejected, are waiting to come back, to be acknowledged, to be integrated. Jung warned us that what remains unconscious, what we try to bury, will return as fate. And nothing is more powerful than repressed sexual energy. It's not just energy, it's identity. It's your soul's deepest longing, trying to break through the walls you've built around yourself. Lust, the constant craving, the incessant need. It's not the enemy. It's a signal. It's your unconscious calling out, asking for attention, asking you to look inward, to confront what you've hidden. Because under the surface of that craving is something far deeper, the longing for connection, the desire for wholeness, the pain of feeling disconnected, of not being seen for who you truly are. When you think you're just chasing physical pleasure, what you're really chasing is the illusion of closeness, the comfort of being wanted, the illusion of control. But as Jung would tell us, this is the shadow at work, the part of you that was never loved properly, the part of you that was told it was too much or not enough. Now, searches for love in the wrong places. It's not just about sex. It's about all the ways you run from your true self. The compulsive texting, the porn at 2 a.m., the relationships that feel almost intimate, but never really connect. It's about avoiding the loneliness that lives underneath your skin. Because sitting with that loneliness, sitting with that need, means facing the fact that you don't just want a release. You want rescue. You want relief from the isolation you've been hiding from the needs you've been denied. This disconnection, this fragmentation of the self, doesn't simply remain as an abstract concept. It shows up in your everyday life, influencing everything you do and every relationship you have. The more you try to avoid it, the more it controls you, in ways you don't even notice. We convince ourselves that it's just a phase, just a momentary distraction. But deep down, we know it's something much bigger, something that's been silently affecting us for much longer than we care to admit. You might think that lust, desire, or the constant craving for attention is a normal part of human experience. It's easy to justify, to rationalize, to believe that you're just like everyone else. After all, society tells you this is how it works. Everyone gets lonely. Everyone has needs. But what if I told you that this craving, this hunger, isn't just a normal part of being human? What if it's a symptom of something deeper, something that you've been avoiding all this time? It's not just about desire for sex. It's about a desperate need for connection, for something real, for something that fills the void you've been carrying around for so long. Jung's words ring out here. People will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own soul. The more you try to fill the emptiness with external distractions, relationships, casual encounters, quick fixes, the more the shadow grows. It feeds off your avoidance, your unwillingness to sit with the pain, the loneliness, the unmet desires that live deep within you. These unmet needs don't go away, no matter how many people you try to connect with, no matter how many times you scroll through your phone, trying to drown out the silence. What's truly fascinating and simultaneously terrifying is that the shadow doesn't care about the superficial distractions you throw at it. It's not concerned with the temporary fixes. It will wait quietly until it's ready to confront you. And it will do so in ways that feel like they came out of nowhere. You might think everything's fine, that you've got it under control. But then, one day, when the world is quiet, when you're alone with your thoughts, you feel the grip tighten. You feel the pull. You feel the desperation rise. It's not just about the fleeting sexual encounters. It's not just about the rush of dopamine. It's about the hunger for wholeness. You try to satisfy that hunger with bodies, with quick thrills, but it never works. You know deep down that the satisfaction is temporary, and when the moment ends, the same emptiness is still there. And it's not because something is wrong with you. It's because you're still trying to fill a spiritual hole with physical pleasure. You're looking outward for something that can only be found inward. You can try to deny it, bury it, and distract yourself. But Jung believed that the shadow is persistent. It doesn't go away just because you ignore it. Instead, it becomes louder, more insistent, more demanding. The more you suppress your desires, the more they will control you. That's why people get trapped in unhealthy patterns, in cycles of obsessive thinking, compulsive actions, and emotional numbness. They think it's about the next thrill, the next high, the next fix. But what they're really doing is avoiding themselves. You've heard it before. It's just a phase. But that's a lie. It's not a phase. It's a reflection of your fractured self. Jung warned that repression leads to fragmentation, not wholeness. The more you deny the parts of yourself that need attention, the more you split yourself into different personas. One that's acceptable, one that's mature, one that's good. But underneath, there's a raw, unacknowledged part of you, the shadow that's trying to be heard. And the longer you ignore it, the more it will disrupt your life. Maybe you've noticed it. That restlessness that follows you from one situation to the next. The way you keep trying to fill the void with quick fixes. Shopping, social media, meaningless sex, but nothing sticks. The way you chase after something that feels like love, but never truly satisfies you. That's the shadow. What you're really craving isn't the body. It's not the momentary satisfaction. It's the soul connection you've been avoiding. You want to be seen. You want to be loved for who you are, not just for what you can give. But until you face the shadow, you'll continue to project that need onto others. You'll continue to chase after the external, believing that it will fill the emptiness. But it won't. This is where things get uncomfortable. Jung said, "The shadow is not evil. It is simply that which you have not yet integrated." It's not about condemning yourself for your desires. It's about understanding them. It's about acknowledging that the desire for intimacy, for connection, for something real is not a weakness. It's a reflection of your soul's yearning for integration. And the more you try to suppress it, the more you divide yourself. The more you run from it, the more power it gains over you. But here's the real question. What do you actually want? Because the truth is, you're not craving her. You're craving the part of yourself you abandoned long ago. Carl Jung once wrote in the Red Book, "I must learn that the dregs of my thought, my dreams, are the speech of my soul." Those urges that hit you at midnight when you're tired and restless, they're not random. They're your soul speaking in the only language you still respond to, desire. But the ache isn't about pleasure. It's about presence. You're not chasing sex. You're chasing a sense of self. You think you want her body, her gaze, her warmth. But deep down, what you're really longing for is to feel tender again, alive again, safe again. That's what Jung called the anima, the inner feminine in men, the part capable of surrender, softness, emotion. And when your anima is unconscious, disconnected, suppressed, you don't know how to feel. You only know how to project. You place that lost tenderness onto her, that inner light you can't access anymore. So now, she doesn't just seem attractive. She seems like salvation. Not because she is, but because she reminds you of the part of you that you no longer know how to meet. But the more you chase her, the further away you get. Because you're not chasing her, you're chasing you. Desire isn't evil, it's just misdirected. When you lose connection with your inner self, lust becomes violent, not outwardly, but inwardly. You scroll endlessly, relive old images, fantasize about people you don't even know. You try to feel something, anything, but every time it ends, you feel more distant from yourself. Jung called this psychic possession, when a complex hijacks your willpower. You no longer choose, you're acted through. And when lust hijacks you, everything else starts to decay. You lose focus, you can't create, you procrastinate, you start avoiding silence, depth, effort. You stop writing, stop building, stop feeling. You look for constant stimulation because it feels like proof you're still alive. But really, it's just numbing you further. This isn't degeneracy, it's disconnection. And then comes the shame. You start to hate yourself, tell yourself you're broken, unworthy of love. But Jung wouldn't shame you. He would look deeper, because he knew what you're doing isn't about addiction. It's about starvation. You weren't taught how to hold your needs. So now, they burst through you in secret, in shadows. You're not craving another body. You're craving connection. You're not addicted to lust. You're addicted to the feeling of being wanted. Because you never learned how to want yourself. And the worst part, Every time you give in to that craving without consciousness, you reinforce the loop. Trigger, urge, reaction, relief, guilt, repeat, until it becomes your new normal. But this isn't who you really are. It's just who you became after your soul stopped being felt. Jung said, "The part of you that was never loved in the right way now searches for love in the wrong ways." And that's exactly what's happening. You've replaced longing with fantasy, intimacy with stimulation, wholeness with approval. So the real question isn't why am I like this, but what part of me have I stopped visiting? Because unless you turn inward, this loop won't break. You'll keep chasing bodies, but never feel intimacy. Keep fantasizing, but never feel seen. Keep finishing, but never feel whole. You don't need to kill your desire. You need to integrate it. Because beneath the lust isn't sin, it's sorrow. And when you stop running, you'll finally hear what your soul has been whispering this entire time. Come back to me. You've been running, but here's the truth. Running only makes you more lost. Carl Jung once said, "Facing the shadow is the beginning of transformation." Your desire isn't evil, it's just a misunderstood signal. It's a part of you that has long been neglected, telling you that you've strayed too far from what you truly need. Yes, desire is power, but without a foundation, it becomes destructive. It leads you to chase false satisfaction, but never brings you closer to yourself. You keep seeking external validation, trying to fill the emptiness with someone else's body, someone else's attention. But each time the rush fades, you're left with a deeper sense of helplessness. Desire should never be about escape. It should be about self-acceptance and inner integration. When you stop running and stop projecting it onto others, you'll realize that true fulfillment comes from connecting with yourself, not from any fleeting pleasure. So, face your shadow. Don't be afraid. True power doesn't come from escaping desire, but from confronting it, understanding it, integrating it. You no longer need external validation to prove your existence because you've already embraced every part of yourself. From this moment on, stop chasing external desires. Turn inward and reconnect with those forgotten parts of yourself. Ask yourself, what do I truly long for? Let that longing no longer be an unspoken pain, but something that guides you toward living as your true, whole self.